You over here worried about Trump coming in and cleaning the house. Your house shouldn't have been dirty in the first place. Ooh, oh, who said that? Who said that? I said that. You should have cleaned your own house. There are a lot of problems that we need to fix within our community. There was a connection that Tariq had made. There was one point that he brought up that made no sense to me. I'm sorry. It made no sense to me. He was trying to compare this to basically Jim Crow, where, you know, they had the 13th Amendment. Yeah, we're going to say you can't be slaves, but if you're a criminal, then you can be a slave. And so at that point, which this is true, they started criminalizing things that aren't criminal behavior, like drinking from a specific water fountain. But if you're going to compare that to what's happening in DC, that's a huge, that's not even the same vibe. That's not even the same context, or not even a 1-to-1, not even a 2-to-1. Like, there's no connection between that, because the things that are happening in DC are actually crimes. If we look at even the video that I reacted to, I think it was like a week ago, where the young man was talking to a streamer and this group of YNs ran up on him and hit him and then ran off. Like that, those are real problems. We have to be honest about these problems in order for them to get fixed. And honestly, it seems like Trump was listening to my live stream. When I told y'all they need to start sending in the military to clean up the streets, and then this happens, I'm like, shoot. You said Barron was listening? Hey, maybe. If you actually care about Black people, then you would want to not only, you know, protect Black people from white supremacy and racist, you would also want us to be protected from each other, right? We're only mad when white people do things to us, but we're not mad when other Black people do it. Like, it's more egregious when we do it to each other. I'm sorry. Maybe that's a hot take. A crime is a crime is a crime, but me personally, when I see Black people harming other Black people, given that we all are so aware, we're so aware of the systemic racism and all these different things, to go out of our way, knowing that there's a racist system against us and still go out and harm other Black people, wouldn't that be more egregious? I mean, you can disagree with me all you want, but in my opinion, it is. It's a bit more egregious if we know that we're in some kind of struggle and then we choose to make other Black people struggle even more. That's even more egregious to me, because I can understand the power dynamic and all this other stuff. Like, okay, you know, if people want a system that's going to benefit them, that's what they gonna do. Okay, let's just be logical here. That's what people are going to do. They're going to create systems that benefit themselves. If we're talking about we're in the struggle together and then you make my struggle even worse because you want to rob me or shoot me or whatever, harass me, then I'm going to look at the things you're doing a lot harsher. One of the things that Tariq mentioned was respectability politics. You guys have heard me talk about this a lot. He was like, oh, it doesn't matter because they'll still do X, Y, and Z. But I'm just like, why make your chances even worse? And not only that, if we're going to say it's an optics game, which he mentioned that as well during his stream, if we're going to talk about optics, if they're going to do it anyways, guess what looks worse? A white supremacist race soldier beating on somebody that is sagging their pants, you know, looks like they commit crimes. Let's be honest, it has a look. Not that everyone who has that look commits crimes, but there is a strong correlation, that prison look. What is going to get more empathy and sympathy from people? If you are sitting over here beating on somebody that looks like they commit crimes versus somebody that looks innocent. Of course, people are going to look at the innocent person and the innocent looking person, and they're going to have stronger feelings about it. It is what it is. Is it right? No. Because like I said, a person could have that look and not be about that life, and it would still be wrong. It would still be wrong for that to be happening to them. But if we are going to talk about the optics of things, then we need to make sure we keep that same energy and keep that same frame of logic when we're talking about these other topics. We should want to increase our odds of survival. If we notice that people don't give a damn when bad shit happens to us, if we have that look, then if we're in this position where we don't have much power and we're relying on other people to empathize with us, to, you know, help us foster that power, you have to play the optics game. I don't give a damn how much it makes you feel upset that you have to do it. Do what you got to do. I'm about results. And that's the thing. A lot of Black people, we're so hung up on our pride. We just forfeit the results in order to just, I guess, maintain our pride. I care about results. What is going to get us better results? All these gang members that are black are off code. As much as we talk about being off code, that is the most off code you can be. Terrorizing your own people. That is like Candace Owens or the Whitlock guy or the Hodge twins. F all that. The most off code you can be is literally being in a black community terrorizing other black people. That is the most off code you can be. So why are we focused on the people that are talking crazy outside their neck and not focusing on those who are actually harming black people? Let's be so for real here. I think the priorities are a bit out of whack. We might not be in a position to control systemic things, but we can definitely get our communities in check. Get these little YNs, the young boys and the heifers, all them that are acting a fool, we can get them in check, and then we can start moving forward, okay, piece by piece. But it's like we'd rather sit over here and focus on what white people are doing and the opportunities that they're keeping from us, but we don't want to think about the opportunities we're keeping from ourselves. That's the first thing you fix. That's what we as black people need to do. We need to make our bed. We need to clean our room, because the way we're moving is just, it's self-destructive. And you know, me and Justin, we were watching Amir Odom. I think this is like the second video I've watched of him, and he was reacting to Nick Fuentes. Now, I'm no fan of Nick Fuentes, right? I'm not. Okay, I'm not a fan of him. When I was watching the reaction to Nick Fuentes, where Amir, I'm not gonna lie, I had to agree with a lot of the things he was saying. Now, Nick Fuentes tried to walk back the claims that he made about things being genetic. He definitely made those claims. I mean, he made them relatively recently on Candace Owens. Let's be so for real here. So he was, doing double speak, right? But if we actually listen to the things that he was saying, was it wrong? I'm not going to sit over here and pretend like somebody's not telling the truth just because I don't like them. That's stupid. If you're right, you're right. And hey, like you said, Rome, a broken clock. A broken clock is right twice a day. I'm not going to pretend like the times it's right, it's wrong. That's stupid. When we were watching that video, we had to have an honest conversation with ourselves, right? So one of the things he mentioned, and I could give you real life experience. I used to be a waitress. You guys. I waitress at a few different places. And what they said about not tipping, I hate to say it, it's true. Now, is there room for error with that? I agree that there is room for error, because if you assume that a table is not going to tip you and you treat them like they're not going to tip you and then they don't tip you, well, you kind of created that situation by giving service. And so that's why even when I was a waitress, I never did that. Whenever I had table with black people, I still did my best, because that wasn't always the case that you were going to get no tip or like $5 off of a $200 bill. It wasn't a guarantee. So I always gave my best service every single time. Let's be so for real here. The no tipping thing, they not lying. When you call into a service, an online service or whatever, where you're trying to get customer service, and you got an older black woman on the phone, okay, you got two options. Either it's the hey sweetie, hey sweetheart, how you doing? The very sweet and nurturing. Or you get the power trip, where they're just rude and just like trying to, like, especially if you're a man calling. Justin's had this happen to him a few times, where he'll call into places, they be extra rude to him because they hear a man's voice. So they like, oh, I have to power trip. I'm sorry. We have problems. And there was a lot of things that he said in that video that were, hate to say it, true. Rome King, look, it's polar opposites. Either you get the power tripping bitch with a clipboard, or you get the super nurturing where they call you, oh, okay, baby. And it almost takes you back to like grandma house. Like, I've had that happen. I've had that happen enough where I've noticed the pattern, okay, pattern recognition. When I get an older black woman on the phone, it's either one or two categories. Either she's going to be extremely nurturing and sweet and call me baby and sweetheart, or she's just going to be a power tripping heifer. I don't make the rules, okay? I don't make the rules. I just acknowledge that they exist. If this takeover is actually giving them some peace, then we need to respect that and stop trying to tell them what it is.
Man, down the city is quiet as a church mouse, man. I came all the way down Pennsylvania Avenue this morning. So peaceful, yeah. I don't smell no weed, young. I don't see no homeless people. I mean, I came all the way through the southeast side, all the way down here. You can see now I'm at the White House, jump, man. It's quiet, young. It's a shame that it takes somebody to have to sit in your classroom in order for you to be in order, young. Because that's what it feels like, young. You gotta be babysitter to do your job, young. Stuff been out of control for years. You gotta do better, young. You gotta do better, young. And mainly, young, you got the problems. It's us, man. It's always us giving everybody a bad name, young. We'll see how long this lasts, young. How many murders was it last night? How many carjackings was it last night? Talk to me. And y'all keep on posting all these data numbers and things of that nature that y'all see everybody else reposting. The stuff that came from the Metropolitan Police Department and the mayor, young.
I'm sorry, but that it keeps getting me. Every single time you be like, yeah. It gets me every single time. But I mean, clearly he's where he's saying he is. Like, clearly he's there. And he's saying it's peaceful. How you gonna tell him how he's supposed to feel about this? Oh, but let me guess, he's a tether. I don't care. He's literally there telling you that things are better. He's literally there telling you that it's peaceful now because they have Daddy Trump and his military there to keep the peace. Why are we sitting over here trying to be angry about something that is actually benefiting other Black people? Wouldn't we want our communities to be safer? And honestly, if y'all are mad about the white man coming in and cleaning house, then you should have cleaned your own damn house. Ooh, oh, who said that? Who said that? I said that. You should have cleaned your own house. You over here worried about Trump coming in and cleaning the house. Your house shouldn't have been dirty in the first place. We want to get mad when somebody else comes in to correct the problem when we had ample amount of time to correct our own problems. Y'all mad at that? Be mad at ourselves. We should have been cleaning up this problem. And see, you know, it is very possible to fix these problems. I forget what South American country is doing this. Justin, you might know. There is a South American country where they had a real big issue with like cartels and gangs and things like that. The community, not the government, the community started banding together and offing the gang members and the cartel members. If you even remotely seem like you're in a gang, they took you out. They weren't playing because they were sick of it. They were sick and tired. Sick and tired of being sick and tired. And so they created a militia and they started cleaning up their streets. It's possible. So I don't want to hear none of this. Y'all over here mad because Trump is fixing the problem. Why didn't you fix it in the first place? You're too busy saying, oh, white supremacy this, but you're letting these gang members that are inflicting more pain as of right now in today's day and age, inflicting more pain upon Black people, but y'all turning a blind eye to that because maybe you know somebody that's in a gang and they're cool, but then the rest of them, I'm not doing that. Let me see what you guys are saying. You said El Salvador? Exactly. Okay, you mad somebody else came in and cleaned it up. You should have cleaned it up in the first place. Now, Ashonda, you said, I'm trying to see from another perspective, but I see this as conditioning for martial law when he deals with the opioid epidemic in the white community. I may see a little different. Hey, and I feel you. Usually when things like this happen, it is conditioning for something more. I'm not saying that there aren't insidious things going on here, right? Like, I'm not going to pretend like there isn't some, like, Trump is just, he's so magical and he's such an angel and he just wants the best for everybody. Like, he's human. He's human with power. Let's be so for real here. He has a clipboard. I agree with you 1000% that this is conditioning for something else. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm not. With that being said, this is still a problem. So what can we do? We have to make lemonade out of lemons. That's what you have to do in situations like this. Make lemonade out of lemon. Exactly, Alexa. If you had those cartel tattoos, you better start putting some makeup on it. It's fair to worry about the potential abuse of power, which the U.S. government does often. So often. Yeah. So it's like we don't have to have this black and white thinking when it comes to stuff like this, right? We can recognize that people can have nefarious intentions while also seeing the benefits. and while also holding ourselves accountable. Like, it doesn't have to be this, well, either you're with us or you're with them. I'm not going to sit over here and just ride for one side blindly. Like, that's dumb. You should be nuanced in your thinking. You should understand the opposition. You should understand all sides of the argument so that you have a good understanding of what you believe in.
You ever had to deal with the D.C. government, young? But they suck, young. They have got a lot more better now that the officers have did what they had to do and got all of these people out of the government and got rid of the riffraff and things of that nature. People actually do work now. Let me give you this for example, right? You got carry and conceals or whatever that were being issued by the D.C. Separate department that was handling the gun license and the things of that nature. They went from turnaround time for like 4 months, 5 months for you to have to damn get a gun registered in D.C. and get a carry and conceal to 2 weeks. It used to take you 3 months just to get an appointment to talk to somebody and take your information and your gun down there. Now, you go online right now and they got appointments available tomorrow. How does that happen? What changed? You put some fire under their asses and now they want to do some work.
Now, if you really care about Black people, I see this as an overall net positive. You want to get your concealed carry so you can protect your family. Guess what? Now you can do it.
Finally able to chill at a red light with my window down, not worried about if one of them young niggas is coming. Ride through the city, feeling more safe than I ever felt. I really just be trolling. But no funny. It has been quiet as shit like for 2 days. That's good. I don't need to be taking nobody loved ones and babies and all that other bullshit. I need to be doing all that.
I'm sorry, getting the YNs up out of there is not a bad thing for Black people. It's a positive. Cleaning up house is a positive. And like I said, if you're mad that the white man is doing it, then you should have did it yourself. Okay? You should have did it yourself. You shouldn't have waited for white zaddy to come in and clean things up. You should have did it yourself. So that's why I don't take these conversations seriously. I just don't. Y'all care more when a white person does it, but y'all don't give a damn when other Black people are harming other Black people. Y'all don't care. So that just goes to show what the real agenda is. And what a lot of people don't realize is, like, there's a lot of money to be made in pandering to Black people about white supremacy. There's a lot of money to be made there, you know, just like most things, right? Whenever you have a group that feels like they're oppressed, you can easily profit off of their trauma. Just like fat acceptance, a lot of fat acceptance people made a brick of money off of pandering to high calorie people. Just like, dark-skinned Black women that have that complex about themselves. Those creators that, feed into that trauma, they make a bag off of these people that are, have that victim mindset. They make a bag off of them. I'm going to hold your hand when I tell you this. If somebody is just coddling your feelings about everything and they're never telling you the real truth, the harsh reality, and nothing is ever your fault, understand you're being finessed. Don't let them finesse you like that. People that actually care about you are going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you, you messed up. They're going to point to what you can do because guess what? That's what's within your control. I can't control what Donald Trump is going to do. I can't control what he's going to do. But guess what? I can control myself. And then I can make sure that I don't raise little YNs. And then if we want to be on some real revolutionary, we can take a note. Okay, we can take a note from, El Salvador, and we can clean up our own streets so that white zaddy don't have to do it for us. I'm tired of this. Oh my God, white daddy did this to us. Why is white daddy doing this? Okay, well, why aren't you fixing the problem before white daddy has to come into the chat? We could have got a handle on this ourselves, but we chose not to. We chose to pretend like it doesn't exist just so that we can blame the white man for everything. I'm not with all that, okay? I'm not going to deny systemic things are happening. I'm not going to deny that, but I'm also not going to sit over here and pretend like Black people don't have a problem. We do. And optics do matter. So this goes back to a common theme that I've been saying. Play the game to win. We keep playing ourselves. instead of playing the game. If you know that the YN look comes with no sympathy, no empathy when things that are bad happen to you, if you want to say that that's inevitable, that white people are just inevitably going to hurt you, think about the optics. If that's the world you live in, think about the optics of that. If you look like you come from prison culture, nobody's going to give a damn. It's just a fact. Nobody's going to care. But when we see things like this happen to us and we look presentable, we have no record, people care a lot more. And then also, stop making everything about race. God damn it. I really hate that the conversation around police brutality went to race, because white people get brutalized by the police all the time. This could have been a real issue that we as Americans could have came together to fix. But because we wanted to make sure we were the main character, now we have a standstill on this issue. I hate that. Daisy, you said, you're right, Sandra. No one will care. Kevin Samuels talked about this. It's facts. It's absolute facts. Flex, I like that name. Flexi Lexi said, when I see black men wearing shiesty, that's the face mask, right? All I can think is you're asking to be profiled. Exactly. Goes back to the conversation about the damn bonnet. Why do you care what another black person's wearing on their head? I'm sorry that I want you to have better outcomes. My bad for me not wanting you to be stereotyped. Y'all be so mad about it, but it's like, you know better. You're choosing to play life on hard mode. Why? I don't get it. Maybe y'all get it, but I don't get it.